Hey there, everybody. It's Wednesday, August the 14th. I hope you're doing well. We are going to experiment with a jelly plate today. My jelly plate was given to me by a sweet, sweet friend many, many years ago. It is crusty and it's a bit polluted. But again, it was something that I had. You know, we always like to use what we have. I'll watch some videos. I'll put some links in the description box below so you guys can check out other creators who are doing this and doing a smashing job, I have to say. This ticks all the boxes for me because A, like I mentioned, I'm using what I have. B, even when you don't have a great result, you still get usable stuff to put into a journal this would be a great jump off point for an actual mixed media piece. I think would be super cool. So whether you're journaling or art journaling or just wanting to do some experimentation, this is a really fun technique. Don't get too wrapped up in the results, because if you get wrapped up in the results, you're going to have some disappointment. So the idea is to be flexible, to play. You will need some pull paper. I'm just using some 8.5 by 11 copy paper. You will need some rather shiny images, and as we work with these images, I'll tell you like what to look for in the images that you pull from magazines. You'll also want to remember, your copyright stuff, and there's a great website called Unsplash, and it has royalty-free images, so that's really super cool right there. All right, let's get started. What I like to use is either this distress paint or Folk Art Color Shift acrylic paint. This has got a metallic gloss finish, and this kind of works well on my jelly plate. So we're just going to go with this metallic and just see what happens. That's the thing, y'all. You really do have to just let go of your expectations. And isn't that like a super valuable lesson? When you just kind of let go about, I think a lot of times we get kind of caught up in, we watch a video and we think, oh, I'm going to do that and it's going to turn out just like that. It often doesn't, it often doesn't, and that's okay. Let go of your expectations. Just have fun. Have fun with the process. We're rolling some of the Folk Art glossy on here. There are a couple things to look for. There's a point when you're doing this that you'll start to see the paint start to lift way too much off the jelly plate. So I've just got some junky stuff over here that I've been playing with, and I gotta do this real quick. And this is what I do with my trash paint. I have a stack of paper over here, a stack of envelopes, and you just take those two things that just, what am I trying to say? Brayer over the envelopes and paper. Sorry, I'm really scattered this morning. I've had a kind of a tough morning. I've been just sometimes I just have a tough morning or I have a tough day, but it's okay because things happen, and I'm gonna let go of the expectations for the day. Always good advice. All right, so we're gonna put that up here. We're gonna pull this print, and then we're hopefully we'll get an image. We might not. It's just very random and very super hard to predict. Okay, so we got a partial image, which I'm cool with. I think what we'll do is we could pull this image on some paper just as it is. Again, you really just have to experiment with color, with you know, with the, you can see that it really pulled the black really well, but it didn't pull the face really well. Next thing you want to do is just add whatever. And my whatever color is usually yellow. It just tends to work real well when pulling prints. You also have to remember that whatever you're doing at this point has to dry before you can do another color. You're layering color, right? And one has to dry before you can put the other on. You can see that my Gelli plate is very polluted. I hope to get another one. You can find them on sale, you know, from time to time, and that's super nice. So I'm gonna pick up just, I saw a creator who had a fan on her desk, and I thought that was really cool. You, of course, don't want to draw this with a heat tool because that would probably burn up the Gelli plate. So we're just gonna, you know, let's talk just a minute about expectations and general and life in general, LIG, life in general, and how that you know, just kind of changes as you get a little bit older. As you guys know, I just turned 66, and life has been very, very different since my mom passed away. We were very close, and my dog died last year. We were very close, so my best friends are gone. But that's okay, because that's what happens when you get a little bit older, right? It just happens, and it's all right. I can see that this is drying nicely. I still have like a gooey piece of paint right there, but I think I'm just going to go for it. And we'll use a different color paint. We'll use, I love this. This is Iridescent Bright Gold Fine, and it's by Golden. It's a fluid acrylic. I forgot to mention that, y'all, because it's acrylic. And so, but, you know, I did see a creator using a bit of watercolor, and I thought, well, that's cool, because I do have watercolor. I haven't used it much lately. I was like on a freaking roll there for a while, and I was super happy. And then I don't know what happened in October, but around the end of October, I just stopped doing watercolor, which is what we sad. I would like to encourage you guys to follow me at Patreon. You can join my Patreon for free, and I am publishing free content for you. So do check out my Patreon, y'all. And then you can get kind of a taster. You can get a sense of it. And perhaps you might join me at the $5 level. I do a happy mailer within the United States every 2 months for you guys. It's always very special. And, you know, let's face it, it's always fun to get something in the mail, isn't it? It's not bills. Not bills. I think I might do this. I'm not sure how that's going to turn out. The next thing that we'll do is I'm going to give Dolly some hair up here, but I bet that won't work out. But again, you know, we're kind of letting go of our expectations and just kind of rolling with things, and just the feel of doing something is, I think when we reach a certain age, or even, you know, sometimes before we reach a certain age, we find ourselves just in this this stasis, this static sort of being, and it's not fun. It's it's very challenging to to be in that state of being, where things have kind of stopped or things have kind of slowed down or whatever, and then you're really super trying to find joy, and it just ain't to be had, and it gets a little confusing. I'm using, again, acrylic. This is a matte acrylic paint. It is folk art. It is yellow ochre. This is our pool paint, okay? So this is the paint that we spread over the whole image. Again, I probably shouldn't have put so much yellow there, but, whatever. And then we'll just see what happens. Let go of your expectations. Have a bit of fun. Let's see what happens. You never know. Yeah, I didn't let my layers draw. So this is going to come out a bit quirky. Again, just pick up whatever you have, and I've put stencils like between pieces of paper, and that gives me a little texture roll right there. All right, we're going to pull this. I didn't want to cover entirely the image because I can already tell this is probably not going to work so great, but it's okay. I use a brayer. Remember, I do have bubbles in my plate, and I don't know how to get rid of them. Honestly, this plate has been in my life a really, really long time, so it might be time to order, a new Gelli plate. I have started an Amazon wish list, so if anybody's interested in helping out a girl, that would be awesome. We roll, and then we wait just a couple minutes. We were talking about happiness and how, finding joy is kind of experimental, just like this process is very experimental as well. And to, we sort of start lowering our expectations, and that's okay. Don't feel bad about yourself for lowering your expectations. I think it was Maya Angelou who said, live frugally on surprise, which is, really, really fun to think about. Just let every day be a surprise, and, hopefully a good surprise. All right, let's go ahead and pull and just see what we have. Like I said, I don't have a lot of expectations for this, but by golly, it turned out really well. I like the distressed nature of a pull like this, and I'll purposely go for that distressed-ish kind of look. I really don't want my pulls to look exactly like the magazine, so this one turned out really well. Let's put that to the side, and I'm not going to clean my plate. I'm just going to go again. Again, we're using this Color Shift acrylic paint, metallic. This is called Black Flash. Kind of cool. Not going to clean the plate. I've found that cleaning the plate, they suggest, just a little bit of detergent, dish detergent, and it doesn't work for me. Might work for you. Again, experimental. We're like crafty scientists here. We're just seeing what's going to work. I said I would help you guys decide on the prints on the magazine imagery that might really work. And let's talk about that for a minute. I'm going to flip some of this paper over, put this here. I like that stencil. It's a 10-volt stencil. And I'm not much of a stencil girl, but I really love this one. I think it's super cool. I like this crackly stuff going on here. All right, so let's restack our papers up here and go on to our next image. Basically, I think anything that has a lightness in the face does well. if it's a lighter kind of photo, that's the thing that works. This might work as well. The cool thing about it is we can do two, right? So we can, let's try this one first and just see what it, what it looks like. So we're just going to press this down. I'm not going to brayer because I'm going to brayer over Dolly, and I want to try this image next. And this is the image pull. So we're just going to do this. We were talking about, expectations and stuff, and I read a lot about being excited. Okay, so we can see that this one did not do well at all, despite the face being very, very light. It was maybe a background problem, I'm not sure. Now, what I like to do with things that did not go well is I like to do a ghost image, and we're just going to pluck this image off. Okay, so we're not gonna layer the paint and do stuff like that. We're just gonna pull the image off. And I like these. I think they've got kind of a spooky, eerie look about them, but again, it may not pull, but that's okay. We'll see what happens here. Oh yeah. Woo, that one turned out really good. So we had kind of a ghosty image. Oh man, she turned out super cool. Love that. Love it, love it. Look at that. Yay. Okay, let's try Dolly. Let's try Dolly. See what happens. So reading about happiness and excitement, and it's like, ugh, no, I don't feel happy and I don't feel excited. But I really pondered on this, and I did some meditation about it. And you know what I feel? I feel content, though not with the way the world is going right now, but within myself. I feel content, and I feel curious. And this is a great little experiment here, in curiosity, in working on that inner fire that keeps you, that kind of motivates you and kind of just keeps you going. My mom had that. My mom was so curious about everything. She would, we talked every day, and she would, it was so funny. She would go, oh, I read about so-and-so, or I saw it on TV, and you should check this out. You should ask your machine about it. And machine meant the computer or whatever. So whatever it was she was curious about, I would try and find, something, whether it's a recipe or something like that or whatever. And she just loved that. I would send her little letters. Okay, so we got nothing here. Crazy, isn't it? All right, so that's all right. That's okay. Look at all like the cool lines and stuff here. We can definitely use this in something. Oh my gosh, I kind of like it like that. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's go again. I've got a couple more. So you see how this works? It's very, you see we got two good ones. And now I think I'm going to try different. Well, you know what? I think I'm going to try this. Let's go with this yellow ochre. You're supposed to use black. I used black and got no results. I'm sure I wasn't doing it right. But the thing was that it was kind of frustrating, and so I just stopped using black. I think it's fun if you, again, you know, it's experimental. This is your wee little laboratory here. Okay, I have the Lainey Wilson thing, which I really like, and then I have this. Might turn out, I don't know. We'll got this. Love this. Let's try that. Let's just try it and see if it works. I love this magazine. This is a magazine called Cowboys and Indians. I am a huge fan of cowboys and Indians because I'm part Cherokee. And I used to watch all the cowboy movies. Roy Rogers and Dale Evans and Wagon Train and love Gunsmoke and Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty. Oh my gosh, I love that stuff. I had on my wall when I was a little girl, I had a guitar and a holster with little pistols in it. This was when I was really little. All right, let's just see how this did. Might not have done it all, but that's okay. Yep, we've reached a point where we're getting absolutely no results. So I'm going to, just going to kind of give the Gelli plate a little wash and see what happens. This is the way it goes. So we just have to roll with it. So let's just give it a little wash. I'm just using a wee bit of, and it could just be the paint. You know, it could be the paint, it could be the Gelli plate, it could be the temperature up here is 81, which is not bad at all, but you know, might be that. All right, I think what I'm going to do is maybe turn my plate over. Still remembering to keep it on the plastic lining here. Okay, let's just see what happens. And we'll do a couple more, and if we don't get anything, then we'll just stop. Because, you know, curiosity gets worn out too. I'm going with a distress paint. This is Mermaid Lagoon. There's this so persnickety about too much paint, not enough paint, not enough rolling. The images have to be, you know, a certain way, and it's just everything. I like this distress paint because it kind of, look, it develops these like holes right here. And I kind of love that. Okay, let's slap an image on there. And then if we don't get one this time, then we're just we'll call it a day. And while I'm thinking about pulling this, please, if you guys would join me over at Patreon, I certainly really truly would appreciate it. Let's try her, just see what happens. You can see that this is already starting to come apart as far as paint goes. Again, it was a distress paint, but that's okay. Please join me at Patreon. Please take a look at my Amazon wish list if you're so inclined. I do have Venmo and PayPal. I am off Etsy. I don't, a lot of reasons. But anyway, not there anymore. But you know, if you do want to support me, then that would be super cool. I would appreciate it. All right, let's see what happens here. See if we got anything. I don't think we got anything, but look at that. Ooh, Seuss likes it. Isn't that pretty? Just get all kinds of, I think what I'm going to do with this one is just have a go. Have a go and see what happens. That's such a pretty color, don't you think? I'm going to put this on my Amazon wish list because, man, I love this iridescent bright gold fine. It really works well in one of those little, you know, the bottles where you've got like the fine tip on the bottle and you can kind of squeeze it out. Oh my gosh, it works great. I'm just going to take experimenting to like a whole new level here. I'm just going to see what happens. Let's do this. This is a great magazine, Cowboys and Indians. I'll link this in the description box below, as well as some of the people that I've been watching. And it's just so dang interesting. Okay, see, I think we got a little bit of Lainey Wilkes in here. And then we pulled a lot of paint off. Look at that. See, that's going to be really cool texture right there. All right. Let's do this. You know what? Since we're just piddling around, as my mom would say, just piddling around. My mom was always busy. She had to take care of my dad. So after my mom passed away, my dad had to go to memory care because nobody could take care of him, which is a private facility. That's okay. Man, isn't that a pretty color? Okay, so that is golden indigo. It's a high flow acrylic. I like these little bottles. Aren't they fun? Thanks, Miss Cheryl. I love those things. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just pull this up. And, you know, if we get some image, cool. If we don't, then that's cool too. It's 10:34, so I've been at this quite some time. I need to move along with my day. And I'm super hungry. I think we can do that. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I love it. I like color. I like color. You can pull on this like 8.5 by 11 copy paper. You can also pull on, it's really sticky, y'all. You can also pull on watercolor paper, and you just get a different effect. And I am totally digging this. Man, that's pretty. Again, just total experimentation. Looks like a galaxy, doesn't it? Very pretty. Okay, so we got this, and then we had some disasters, and then we had one that turned out really well, and then we had I gotta tell you, my favorite is the ghost print that we did. That's I really love that. I'm gonna turn that into a mixed media piece. I think it would be super cool. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. Please consider my Patreon. Please consider Venmo or PayPal, and know that you're appreciated and you're loved. You know, don't beat up on yourself for not finding it hard to find joy or be happy or excited. Lean into contentment and curiosity, and I think it's a lot easier to manage a day. See y'all later.